We are live. Yes. Good. Actually, we're not live. We're taping this. A little something different for the people these days. That's what we do here. Yeah, we do a little segment for the live, and then we do the taping because it's tough to get people's attention for an hour to watch a video on Facebook. So we like to shorten things up. But Aunt Mazziotti is in the building. Adrian Fedke's in the building. It's PI Live every Tuesday. And why is this thing so damn tight? I have no idea, but I guess that's the way it's staying. That's the way it's staying. Folks,
that's what he said.
It hasn't been my day today, man. Hasn't been my day today. And I have no idea why that is, but that's fine. It's still twist, whatever. Manchester United got smoked. That is not how we wanted to start the day at all. I was in a good mood. Thank God I did not go out to watch that game. I'd have been seriously pissed if I did. But that was how I started my afternoon, and was not happy. Not a happy camper at all. Manchester United didn't show up. It was a home game, Champions League, and they lost. They got smoked. Not that you guys care, do you?
Well, Howie Roseman started his afternoon by Howieing and restructuring Lane Johnson's contract and $7.5 million saved against the salary cap. So the Eagles had to shed $9.8 million before Wednesday's deadline, and they did three-quarters of that with Lane Johnson's restructure. Brent Celek got released, so that saved another $4 million. So all of a sudden, the Eagles are under the salary cap, and they didn't have to cut Vinny Curry.
Yeah.
And the reason why that's important, well, if you can find a trade partner and a suitor that would want his services, maybe get a late-round pick in return, add to the draft cupboard. So I thought the Lane Johnson news was the big news of the day.
That's how it started.
That's how everything
started. Sure.
And then other things happen, obviously.
Sure. And look, the Eagles were active. They were active. Haloti Ngata signed, and then the linebacker for Denver.
Yeah, Corey Nelson. Denver. And they supposedly liked him a lot. Mm-hmm. So that's a big get. We all know that the linebacker position was something that they needed to address. And matter of fact, I didn't know if Nigel Bradham would have been, a guy that they would have brought back. Still, who knows how that's going to play out. They're just getting started. But what other moves happened from the Eagles' perspective?
Well, you had Haloti Ngata, which he explained. And the Corey Nelson thing, it's kind of like the Patrick Robinson theory from last year. You buy low in the hopes that you find gold, that needle in the haystack, which is what they found with Robinson. You don't have a lot of money to spend, so go for a guy that was a backup on another team and is a little bit on the younger side, and maybe he can make the ascension on your team. So he's better than Najee Good.
Yeah,
that's what I got.
He's only 25 too.
Yeah,
Nelson is.
Yeah,
which is big.
Okay, you all right with that microphone?
It's falling, but it's cool.
Well, you gotta loosen that up. There you go. Hang on, I can bring it down here. Boom. Now you're off. I believe you're off. I don't know if one of you are off. One of you, whatever. Oh, actually.
All right. So as you guys do that,
yeah, there you go.
Think about it this way with Haloti Ngata's signing. So your first line unit, you got Derek Barnett, Timmy Jernigan, Fletcher Cox, and Brandon Graham. Obviously, best starting defensive line in the league. But the second unit, you could even make the argument that their second unit could be top 10. You got Ngata. You got
Haloti
Ngata, Michael Bennett, Chris Long, Destiny Vial. I mean, my God. They're going to be rotating in and out, and that's the other thing about this Ngata signing. He's 34 years old, comes off a torn triceps. Not as quick as he used to be, obviously getting up there in age, but you're going to keep him fresh because you're always rotating in and out these defensive linemen. I believe Brandon Graham led the team in snap percentage last year, and it was only like 65%, whereas Michael Bennett played like 85% of Seattle snaps. So you can just see between those two numbers alone just how much they like to mix and match here in Philadelphia.
I imagine he's going to slide into that probably similar to that Bo Allen role, and he only played 40% of snaps, 40 or 41% of snaps last season.
And so Bo Allen's gone?
He's gone. Yeah, he's gone.
I saw him tweet.
Yeah. Should pour one out for Bo.
Yeah, no, well, for pouring anything out, it's for Brent Celek.
That too, yeah.
And shout out to Brent Celek. What can you say? The guy's been through it all. He's been through it all.
And warrior.
Yeah, season after season, seasons we went through Andy, went through Chip, and went through Doug, and won a Super Bowl. And shout out to Brent Celek. I know he's courtside at the Sixers game right now as we speak, and he's sitting next to the owner of the Fanatics, Michael Rubin, who is a billionaire, and it's like nobody even knows who that guy is. Everyone's cheering for Brent. Super Bowl champions! Meanwhile, that guy could take care of your kids,
kids for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
But no one knows who the hell he is.
Well, just to touch on Brent Celek, don't rule out the possibility that he might even come back, because he was a $4 million cap hit. You had to get under that $9.8 million number by tomorrow, and while Brent Celek, that $4 million hit was one of the easier decisions to make. So maybe he'd come back for the veteran minimum if that's something that he'd be willing to do.
Okay.
Don't rule it out. So just throwing it out there.
Get that 3 yards, hit 5K on the career.
Awesome. But bringing him back, I mean, you got Zach Ertz in here. The other name to watch out for is Billy Brown off the practice squad. But those two guys, more receiving threats. So you want the blocking of Brent Celek back. So just something to keep in mind. And I've been hearing Martellus Bennett rumors too.
Sure.
So we'll see if there's a little Bennett.
Do you want
reunion.
him here?
I don't personally.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, remember,
I don't like what he did in Green Bay. When
they
he
got
kinda,
it.
walked
Yeah,
out.
they got it done without personalities like that in the locker room, and hey, you got one Bennett here. Let's not go too crazy. All right, let's not go too crazy. I think I'm okay with saying that. From a football perspective, that's 100% what I mean. I don't give a damn about anything off the field, but I think you got to lump some things into that, but it's not what I'm talking about. I welcome Michael Bennett. I can't wait to see what he's able to do, but Martellus is a little like, I don't know. I don't know about that.
I don't like what I heard from Green Bay and how he basically just walked out on the franchise, didn't want to play for them anymore because they were out of playoff contention. I don't like hearing that. I'd stay clear of him. And with Haloti Ngata's signing, I think we can now stop talking about Ndamukong Suh. It's not happening.
Another one.
So
another one that I want to know part of.
Yeah,
but Adrian, he said he'll play for free.
Oh, stop it. He wasn't going to play for free.
Nobody plays for free. Nobody plays for free.
Yeah.
Speaking a little bit about the NFL, let's go ahead and touch on this one. Sam Bradford. Because this is going to bring us into the Nick Foles conversation. But Sam Bradford landing a 20-year deal with the Arizona Cardinals. And I thought Jimmy Kempski put it best. If Sam Bradford sees the entirety of his $20 million contract, he will have earned $134 million over his career. 34 career wins since he entered the league 2010, and never more than 7 in this season. It's a lot of coin right there, boys.
The definition of mediocrity right there.
That is a lot of coin for one Sam
Bradford.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, but yeah, you're talking about Nick Foles, and that's what immediately came to mind when I saw that signing, because I saw the two potential suitors for Nick Foles, Buffalo and Arizona. These two teams needing quarterbacks, but they kind of picked near the later part of the first round. Arizona at 15, Buffalo at 20 and 21. But the Bills made a trade yesterday for Cordy Glenn. So they swapped from 21 to 12, very similar to what the Eagles did when they landed Carson Wentz. Right. Jumped up from 13 to 8 and then 8 to 2. So I can see a scenario here. All right, Indianapolis, they already have Andrew Luck. They have a lot of pieces and a lot of holes that they need to fill. So I can see them potentially trading back, whether it's to Buffalo, whether it's maybe it's the Jets or one of those teams in the top 6. But Buffalo seems to be really, really aggressive. I believe they have like a pair of second-round picks as well. So they're going to be making moves. So with that being said, Nick Foles, well, it looks like nobody's going to come calling, and he's going to be here on the team next year.
Do you think it's possible they're going to want a placeholder? Because Nathan Peterman is not the most viable option. They're a playoff team. They were the 6th seed, but they were a playoff team nonetheless.
Sure.
So do you think they might? I don't know that they'd offer what I'd want. But
that's
do you
the
think
thing.
they want
It's
a
like
placeholder?
I don't think because the problem is they're going to be giving up all those draft picks to Indianapolis, and if they're going to be giving away picks for that, are they really going to give away picks for Nick Foles? And I don't think that's going to happen. So like the best case scenario for the Birds would have been Arizona and Buffalo getting into a bidding war, and now we're not going to see either of those teams want to go after Foles. So forget about the trade. It's not happening. Nick Foles is going to be here in Philadelphia, although
we don't know yet.
Although
we don't
know.
I
was getting to this point because
you're like Tony over there dealing with your your certainties. Like it's 100% is how it's going down.
I'm just trying to be bold.
All
damn
right,
it,
do it. Be bold. 2018
bold,
Phillies.
you.
Yes.
But as Ant was saying before the show, don't rule out the possibility of if somebody goes down in training camp, or, in the preseason.
Yep.
Somebody might want to overpay for Nick Foles.
Sam Bradford 2.0.
Yeah, speaking of, what the hell's going on with Teddy Bridgewater? Where's he going to end up?
I saw it earlier today. Even though the Jets did just re-sign Josh McCown, they were in talks with Bridgewater.
Okay.
So possibly the Jets.
Wouldn't mind it. Wouldn't mind him with the Jets. I heard Stephen A. Smith yelling about the Jets earlier today.
I could root for Bridgewater on the Jets.
Let me ask you this one, since we're talking about other teams in the NFL. What about the Cleveland Browns? Do you like what the Cleveland Browns have done so far? They traded a ton. I have it right here in front of me. But basically, they acquired Tyrod Taylor, Jarvis Landry, who I love, Demarius Randall, Juice. Packers 2018 4th and 5th round picks, and the Patriots 3rd. And they traded a whole bunch of other picks. They got rid of Deshaun Kaiser, Danny Shelton, I'm not too familiar with. But still, the Browns flipping the switch a little bit, and I love Jarvis Landry. I do. The guy's been an amazing receiver. Not quite. He could be mentioned in the same breath as those top-tier guys. I'm talking about Julio and those guys. He should be because of his production.
He won't because he's a slot receiver.
That's fair. That's fair.
Well, here's what
he
I'll
won't
say.
be because he's not on their level. He's not Antonio Brown's level. He's not Julio's level. But his numbers, I think he had 94 catches, and I think he led the league this year or last year. I forget.
He's really good underneath, like anything less than 10 yards. And what that makes me think
That's
of
true.
is I still think they're going to draft a quarterback, whether that's at number 1 or whether that's at number 4.
They got 1 and 4. I mean, that's got to make you salivate. Like when you go to bed at night, if you're the general manager and he came from Kansas City, I forget what his name is, but when he lays his head, Dorsey, right?
Yeah.
Dorsey lays his head down on a pillow at night. He's got to say to himself, "I got 1 and 4. I can do option." He better come away with Saquon.
I think they're
better
going
come away.
1 and whoever quarterback they want at 4.
Is that the smart decision, though? You've been
think so.
putting off a quarterback for years, making wrong decision after wrong decision, and now you can get your guy, and you're going to pass up for a running back.
But it's Saquon.
It's Saquon. I feel like those 4 quarterbacks are kind of bundled together, kind of clustered.
Darnold, Rosen,
Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen, Josh Allen, and Baker Mayfield. Yep. So and they all bring different things to the table. Sam Darnold's kind of like vanilla ice cream. I feel like I know what he's going to be. I don't think he's ever going to be like a perennial Pro Bowler, but he'll be solid. He'll be good. Mm-hmm. Josh Rosen, I'm a little bit worried about his injury history because his feet are really slow in the pocket.
I'll say also, isn't he like Jay Cutler light in the fact that no one knows what they're going to get out of him? Like, is he all the way into it, or is he just a really talented guy who doesn't give a shit?
Those are question marks as well. He does have arm talent, and in terms of arm talent, that's where we get to Josh Allen. He's got the biggest arm since I can't believe I'm saying this, but Jamarcus Russell. And we all saw what happened with him. But I think with Allen, it's going to depend on who his coach is going to be. Because he does have to work through some mechanical flaws. We saw better mechanics from him at the scouting combine, but this dude can throw it 65, 70 yards. He can fit it into tight windows. And his arm is so strong, he doesn't have to play with anticipation. He can just go out there and fling it because it's so strong.
Right.
And then Baker Mayfield, I think he's got some of the it qualities that you look for in a quarterback, the competitiveness.
Baker.
Baker is Baker. He's Baker. And I like all 4 of them. I think all 4 of them are going to be pretty good. But Josh Rosen, I'm worried about with the injuries.
I like Baker. He's my pick of the guys. I mean, I saw you got a I'm going to call it a bad comp to Manziel, but if you're cocky, I guess you're just going to get that comp. But
Well, I pulled a picture up on draftwire.com, and it's kind of small, so hopefully people could see it. But they got Rosen going 1 to the Browns, Sam Darnold going to the Giants 2, Saquon going Indianapolis 3.
I like Saquon.
It's so small that I can't even. It's a defensive back from Alabama.
Minka Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, there you go, going 4. Guard from the Irish going 5. 6, Baker Mayfield to the Jets. I want to see Baker Mayfield in a Jets uniform. I do. Because you know what?
He's got the personality for New York.
I don't know about that.
You don't think he
What?
does?
Because you got the bravado? That means
I like the bravado.
That ain't what it takes. Did Derek Jeter have bravado? You know what I mean?
That's not what comes to my mind. In New York, like, does Eli Manning have bravado? It's like March Madness, survive and advance in New York City. Hey, Philadelphia is pretty damn big too as well when it comes to media. But New York, you got to think about it. I mean, there's so much media there, and just every little thing that you could imagine that would be a distraction you got to deal with. Every little, especially nowadays, it's like, oh my God, that player did what? Odell Beckham. Yep. Snapchat. 6 a.m. partying out in France, on tour with Nike, dude. Nike, getting that Nike money. And he's out there partying with chicks, and she's doing blow in the bed, allegedly. And she said that he's got a piece of pizza in his mouth. That wasn't a piece of pizza, that was a blunt. And, whatever. I'm all about, marijuana. But you can't be doing that on Snapchat at 6 a.m. and Paris. On top of that, you can't have a model cutting up white substance all at Johnny Manziel in the bedroom and expect, like, dude, what are you thinking? What an idiot.
Well,
what an absolute idiot.
Speaking of Baker Mayfield and the Johnny Manziel comparison, I think it's kind of lazy in a way.
No, it's not. It's because I was saying it in the beginning. It's not lazy.
Because
they have similar playing styles.
Here's who he reminds me
He got arrested. He ran from the cops and got caught.
Here's who he reminds me of.
How are you telling me that?
Philip Rivers.
Yeah, but you're talking about on the field.
The competitiveness and the fieriness.
What's that? How, Slay? How you got Philip Rivers? How
have you ever
Philip Rivers out of that?
The competitiveness, the fiery competitiveness.
Oh, stop.
The whole, like, grabbing your crotch. That's Philip Rivers.
Yeah, you're right. I watched Philip Rivers at NC State all 4 years. The guy was incredible. Look, I don't think it's lazy at all. I think, okay, now we're past that. I think now we're like, okay, give me something more than he reminds you of Johnny Manziel. I was saying that in the beginning of college football season, and when he was,
all right, I'll
fast
give you
approaching.
Credit there.
I was, well, it's not giving me credit. I don't think it was a lazy take because they both dealt with off the field issues. They both are rockheads inside. It seems they both can sling it. I would tell you, Baker Mayfield to me looks like a more capable NFL quarterback than Johnny Manziel did.
Absolutely.
I
think Baker
I never believed in Johnny Manziel. Not once.
See, Manziel had Mike Evans, and I saw a lot of instances where he wouldn't play with anticipation. He would just throw the ball up to Mike Evans. Where Baker Mayfield, I've seen him shift the safeties. I've seen him beat guys with his eyes. I think their playing styles are a little bit different. They're not that similar. They're similar in the ways that they can scramble, but in terms of the way that they work the pocket and do that sort of, like Mayfield has more touch on his ball, the touch that he has. Manziel just,
Baker sized up at the combine. Was he 6'1"? Did he get to 6'1", or is he 6 and some change?
I'll have to research that.
Only thing that worries me.
Yeah.
But I mean, Drew Brees did.
And it should.
Drew Brees the same thing. Yeah.
Well. We're talking about a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yeah, it's a different breed, and it's you're not going to see that every day.
No, definitely not. And Drew Brees just signed a new contract with the Saints. He's not going anywhere, folks. He's staying in New Orleans, which I thought was ridiculous.
Is that ever in doubt?
Which I thought was just ridiculous. Like, just take care of the guy already. Like, hey, Drew, you're not going anywhere. Let's just make you our guy for the next 5 years, whatever it is. If you don't play all 5 years, whatever. But I guess that's not how it works.
He got two for 50, I think.
He did, and the best was the Vikings. The best was
interest for him.
The best was the Vikings because damn right, if you're about to give Kirk Cousins all that money, you better make that phone call. Hell, I'm calling if the Patriots want to hop up on Tom Brady or whoever else they got in a backup situation up there. I want to know who's available. If I'm posted up, how much did Kirk get?
3 years, $86 million, fully guaranteed
from the Vikings. I just want to make sure that this wasn't like some Chinese team.
Pinched, make sure it's real.
Kirk Cousins making all that damn money in Minnesota, incredible.
I think it was the right move because they're ready to win right now. They have the defense. They have the weapons at wide receivers. Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen. You're gonna have Dalvin Cook.
What does he do different that Case Keenum can't?
I see. I'm worried about Case being a 1-year wonder. And
Kirk, you're good.
Kirk
with
has had it for like 3 years now. I'm not saying that he's top 10. I'm saying that he's like fringe top 15-ish. But that's good enough with the defense that they have and the wide receivers that they have.
No, you know what that is? That's good enough to make you the highest paid player in the NFL. Isn't he the highest per? I thought that's what I heard on radio today, but I think that's
highest per year.
Something like that.
That's what I heard, but it didn't match.
Doesn't work out like that.
But I'm not entirely.
Yeah, because
sure
Jimmy
either.
G did get paid, but bottom line, $84
Well, I
million.
can look it up
All
right
of it's
now.
guaranteed.
Yeah, all of it.
All of it's guaranteed. So I think that might be the reason.
think that's what they
That's
mean.
what it was. Okay. So all of it's guaranteed. And Kirk and his
insane.
and I got to give a little shout out to Kirk and his agent, holding out, saying, "Yo, Washington, this is what we want. This is what we want." He's in a much better situation, making more money, right? I think he's making more money. If not, it's still a couple dollars around that ballpark. But and it's not easy. And shout out to Sam Bradford's agent, getting him $20 million again. Again, how many games do you think Sam Bradford plays this year?
What did he go out with last year? Because he got injured. What did he? Do you remember what he went out with?
I think it was a knee.
Yeah, he definitely because he couldn't even stand on it.
Sam Bradford's knees.
Exactly.
Favorite fantasy name.
I don't think he plays more than 6 games this year. I really don't.
Earlier today, I saw that the Cardinals were in the running for Mike Glennon as well tomorrow. So I don't know if that's still something to watch out for.
The Cardinals are just wheeling and dealing for mediocrity.
That was before they went out and signed Sam Bradford, though. But you're right. If Bradford's only going to play like 6 games this year, then
Did Sam Bradford only play 2 games this year?
Ooh, that sounds right.
about right.
Wow.
Yeah, and he played really well those 2 games.
32 of 43, 74% completion percentage, 3 touchdowns, no INTs. Well,
There you
that's all. That's why Arizona said, let's go ahead and give him all the money in the world.
See, here's where I'm worried about Case Keenum, going back to that thing. So near the end of the season, I noticed how teams would, the way that they would collapse the pocket, not let him escape it. He would throw a lot of these back-footed balls that got tossed in the air, and we saw Patrick Robinson return one 50 yards to the house. And that's the thing with no one had tape on Case Keenum the way that they're going to have it now. And now they have a whole offseason to study him. And, those are the things that I'd be worried about, with him. So with Kirk, he at least has proven it for 3 years, even though he's not the greatest thing in the world. He's still putting up the numbers. We'll see if Case Keenum can replicate it.
Well,
He went to the Broncos today. Didn't
Yeah. So
Keenum did?
He's
Keenum
in
to the
Denver.
Broncos.
And if I'm Denver, I'm still
Kubiak.
drafting a quarterback at number 5. I'm still taking one.
trying to dig up some of these other rumors that are out there. Obviously, Jordy Nelson is a big name that everybody's talking about.
Yeah.
Any interest, any possibility winding up with the Eagles, or is he heading for Tom Brady and the Patriots?
Yeah, I think Jordy's going to cost too much money. I don't. I think there are other priorities you have to attack first, like re-signing Nigel Bradham, maybe re-signing Patrick Robinson. That's been the other rumor. Maybe going after a linebacker, somebody like that. So
Yep.
I think there are other needs. I'm looking at Matt Collins and be the number 2 next year.
Should
So
be.
I
Should
think
be.
he should get every opportunity to. I thought he showed enough during his rookie season.
Absolutely.
So I'm going Matt Collins there.
So
Matt Collins, number
He's
2.
going to be the number 2 wide receiver, but he's also probably going to be the 4th option in the passing game, though.
Yeah.
So probably
yeah.
he's going to be behind Alshon,
Yep.
Ertz, Aguilar,
And-
and then probably him,
and he'll be
in
the
theory.
deep threat too.
Yeah.
He's not quick, but he's fast. And once he's down there like 10, 20 yards downfield, then he gets the long strides
So you
going, and
saw him on
he
the,
starts galloping.
His
down.
lone touchdown against the Redskins.
Yeah, perfect example of that.
Any other rumors I'm missing out there as far as big names that were released?
I don't think we talked about Trey Burton yet.
Oh, Trey Burton! Shout out to Trey Burton.
Signs with Chicago, 4 years, $32 million.
He said he was disappointed Eagles didn't enter into the race for him.
Well, I mean, they didn't have the money,
Yeah.
Are you going to give
I think
$8 million to a backup tight end?
Had the cap situation been better, I think they might have made a play for him.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Howie did a lot to get to this point.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Chip was like a mad bandit out there, leaving a store with his sacks full. Didn't care how he was spending.
Yeah.
So that took a little bit to get back into it. Now Howie, I mean, obviously, what he did in that one offseason, that one draft, just to get Carson Wentz is still just amazing. So whatever Howie wants to do, I'm in. I'm all in for him. This is his time to shine, and he's flexing those muscles right now. And again, when you see these guys like the Redskins, who was the receiver that they got? They signed the receiver today.
Paul Richardson.
I have no. Who the hell is he?
Paul Richardson. Yeah, go ahead.
He's a Seahawks receiver. I don't know stats offhand, but he
had like 40 catches in his career.
He was like a late bloomer last year towards the end of the season. Yeah. But like for the first 3 years of his career, they were talking bust with him. He's a speedster. He's a deep threat. That's what he does.
So he's coming back. Now, the funny thing, the reason why I bring that up is because I was on a Carolina radio station. They brought me in to talk Torrey Smith on Monday. And, I just said to him, like, what do you really want out of Torrey Smith? Like, what do you think you're getting out of him? My point was, if you're going to make a run, and which the Panthers do, Cam constantly has them in the playoffs, or at least in that hunt, you're going to need bodies. You're going to need some receivers, that are going to be going long in that depth chart. And I said it's good to have guys that you can count on. Torrey Smith, I thought would be one of that, like a guy like that.
Yeah.
Now this cat that just signed with the Skins, who would you rather have, Torrey Smith or Paul Richardson?
Whew.
If you were to
honestly, probably Paul Richardson.
Really? Okay.
But. See, Torrey Smith has also led the NFL in drops the last 5 years. So but I will say this though, he had a good postseason, and not a lot of people are talking about that.
13 grabs out of 20 attempts to him throughout the course of the postseason run. I think he had 5 in the Super Bowl. Remember, he had that flea flicker play against the Vikings.
The biggest play of the offseason, the reception against the Falcons were bounced off Keanu knee.
There you go.
He got that?
Talks about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he caught that ball.
Before the half.
Right before the half, and it led to the field goal.
That's a good call by you.
If Keanu Neal picks that ball off.
It's probably game.
Yeah.
That game definitely goes down a different way. We know that, and it probably,
And Torrey Smith made that catch.
Yeah. I mean, going back to your question, though, like, it depends on what perspective you want to take. Well, because
my perspective is this: there's only so many receivers that are going to be available for you to get.
Yeah.
So you need. I don't know what the hell Carolina plans on doing down there and getting help for Cam. Now I know they got Christian McCaffrey, who had a great season.
Yep.
Bunches. Excuse me. Bunches.
Bunches of bunches.
Yes, Funches. Excuse me.
Greg Olsen.
God, come on. How much can you count on him anymore? You got to move on from him. They also have another receiver that was okay. Made a little bit of a name for himself. Had a decent
Isaiah
game.
Bird. Are you thinking of him?
Demir Bird.
Oh, Demir Bird. That's right.
Demir Bird.
That's right. That's
is that it?
He was the punt returner.
Okay.
Little guy. Rather
so
small.
they have some speed. They have some young guys. All that. But come on, man. You got to get Cam some guys that can make some plays.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Torrey Smith is that guy, but I think that, that's what they need right now.
I'll tell you what, Cam Newton can't overthrow Paul Richardson. So, because he's got that speed. But you're taking a risk with Paul Richardson because you're basing, your value on him based on what he did the last half of the season, and he was kind of a bust for 3 years. So, that's that.
I would lean Torrey Smith. I guess it depends what you want to get out of him. He's got that still got the big playability. He's still caught the ball pretty well, give or take some.
I'm probably just not as high on Smith as other people.
I'm not really, but he's a great locker room guy.
He is.
Which I hate to use that cop out because it's like.
But he's a different locker room
I always
guy.
feel like it's like the same cop out people use when they talked about Riley Cooper. Like, oh, he's a great blocker, and it's like, well, what does that really mean?
He was brought in to catch the football.
Brent Celek was a good blocker.
Yeah, well, that was a different story because that's all we had at the end of his career, But Riley Cooper was ridiculous. I hated hearing, Riley Cooper's a big body. Chip likes those big guys.
He's a great blocker.
Great blocker. Kiss my ass. It's been crazy. Just think about these last 5 years, how it's been for Eagles fans and just, for a guy like Howie Roseman. Like Brent Celek had me thinking, just how crazy it's been just in the last 5 years. Chip comes in, year one. Lights the world on fire, 10-6, division championship playoffs. Nick Foles, 27-2. What the hell is going on? Following year, 10-6, missed the playoffs. Following year, everything hits the fan. He's fired.
Yep.
Doug Peterson gets brought in. Who? Really? Like we knew who he was, but it was like, nobody else wanted him. Carson Wentz made you believe, and then the next year they win the freaking Super Bowl.
They won the Super Bowl.
Like, what the hell is going on, dude?
Yeah.
So here we are, free agency, and we're off and running. Everybody will be official on Thursday, right? This is the tampering period.
Tomorrow at 4 p.m.
Everything was official.
Wednesday.
Where did I get Thursday from? I don't know where I got Thursday from.
Thursday's the NCAA tournament.
That's why. Yes.
That's probably where you got it from.
Can't wait. Which I want what I want to do is this. I want to go live for the Phillies discussion, and then we'll touch on March Madness here. So with that being said, any last words on NFL free agency? What do you expect the Eagles to do? Anything that's caught your eye? Adrian, you go first.
Yeah, I expect the Eagles to go after veterans that are going to be cheap, like they did today with Haloti Ngata. So the other guy I got in mind, unless he's already been signed, I don't think he has, Derek Johnson, the former Chiefs linebacker.
Still free agent.
Yeah, I think you can get him for cheap, and especially the Eagles, because you're in a position to win a Super Bowl. And that's the thing. You can bring in these ring chasers to potentially go back-to-back, and they can go and benefit from it. So a guy like Derek Johnson, you want a linebacker that's going to be good in coverage, because if you lose Nigel Bradham, that's his strong suit. And the Eagles, when Jordan Hicks went down last year, that's where they struggled, covering tight ends, covering running backs out of the backfield. So Derek Johnson, not what he used to be, obviously. He's like 34, 35 now. But still plays instinctively in his zone. So that's where I would go at linebacker.
I'm just going to put this out there. I agree with that. I think they're going to definitely be looking for like veterans, maybe on the older side, for cheap. And then the other thing I would look out for is probably a little bit of addition by subtraction. With the Torrey Smith deal, they got a cornerback named Darryl Worley.
Yes.
So they got him.
I was talking about him.
They got him. And then in the defensive back room alone, you have him, Jalen Mills, Ronald Darby, Russell Douglas. You're talking about bringing Patrick Robinson back. It's a crowded room in there. I would look for the Birds to try to send someone, I'm not sure who, out and try to get something in return for him during this period. That's
that guy I think is going to be Ronald Darby because he's got 1 year left on his deal. I know. 1 year left on his deal.
I am not a fan of trading Ronald Darby.
So 1 year left on his deal, and I don't think you're going to be able to re-sign everybody next year because you're cash strapped for next year. You have Jordan Hicks, Jay Ajayi, Ronald Darby. I'm sure there's others, and I'm not remembering right now.
Sure.
But a lot of names that you got to re-sign, and maybe Darby, okay, you have corners. Might as well get something for him. That would be the thought process there.
Sidney Jones,
Did I say Sidney Jones? I don't know if I did, but he's probably going to walk in and start on the corner. He's going to start on the outside. The guy I had been hearing, I don't want to say rumors because nothing was official, but Jalen Mills was the guy that I heard in talks to, and I'm a Mills fan. I would not want to see him leave. But
yeah, I mean,
if you can get something for him,
7th round pick,
I could be easily swayed into thinking anything's a good idea.
Sell high. So high, you're never going to.
I like Jalen.
I love Ronald Darby.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, you got to say, hey, you know what? Let's go with playmakers. It's all about the repeat right now. As E-Rock says, it's all about, he has a hashtag, nothing above the repeat.
Beats the repeat.
Nothing above the repeat. That's it. And I think it's great because it's 100% true. So I don't think you need to get rid of a guy like Ronald Darby who single-handedly won the frickin' Oakland Raiders game, who brought you back into the game with the Giants. He didn't do much in that Super Bowl. He was awesome against the Vikings.
He damn near got that interception.
Ronald Darby did not do well against the Patriots.
He damn near got that interception the play before the Hail Mary. On the outside, he almost picked that ball off. I mean, almost only counts the horseshoes and hand grenades.
Sure.
But still.
How do you remember that? I don't remember that.
I got a weird memory.
I was blacked out.
Yeah, I was blacked out by that too. Exactly. I don't remember that.
Hell
no. Hell no. All right. Last but not least, boys, let's talk a little bit about March Madness. And, it's happening. It is finally here. I pulled it up. You can see it on the screen. It's going to be a little tough for the people to see again. I don't know why that looks like that, but hopefully you can read it. Anyways, everybody filled them out. I tried to fill it out. I struggled. I'm not going to lie to you. I struggled coming up with the winner. And, let's go ahead. Let me ask you. What do you got? What do you got?
It was hard this year because you have a lot of mediocrity in college basketball right now. You don't have that distinguished number one team. And even the teams up top, like a Virginia, like a Villanova, in years past, we've seen them bow out earlier on in the tournament. I know Villanova won a couple years ago. I know that. Then there's teams that are rising late in the season. You have teams like Duke, who switched to their 2-3 zone, 1-3-1 zone, whatever you want to call it. And ever since they did that, they've been winning games. Kentucky's playing really well right now. They just won the SEC. They're defending really well. Arizona got hot. Once the Sean Miller allegations came out, they started winning games.
Yeah.
And they look great.
I want them to win it all, just so like you got
that would
those
be
guys.
awesome. And I look at that potential second round game between Arizona and Kentucky. I think the winner of that game actually goes to the final. That's what I have in my bracket. I have Duke winning it all.
You got Duke winning it all?
Duke winning it all.
Dude, I would bet against that all day. Why? What's their bracket easy?
They're
not playing good right now.
Oh, they got hot at the end of the season, although I didn't like the way they played against North Carolina.
Yeah.
But they went to that zone. They've been playing a lot better. You have Bagley and Carter as your back end guys. They can go up and get rebounds. So like I look at that Michigan State matchup in the Sweet 16. Michigan State is great on the boards, but you got Carter and Bagley that are able to kind of counteract that.
Sure.
They're a little bit bigger than they used to be. That's why they've been upset in years past, because they like to kind of play with 4 guards and you have your one big. But this year I think they're getting hot at the right time, and that's the key to these tournaments. So
it's true.
I don't know who the hell's going to win, to be honest with you.
No, you're right.
But I wound up picking Duke. Villanova has the easiest road out of all the number 1 seeds.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if Duke is a good matchup for them. So I would pick Duke over Nova. I think the most vulnerable number 1 seed is Xavier. They lost to Providence in the semifinals. They lost.
Providence been playing people good though, didn't they?
Yeah, I love their head coach.
Yeah.
Cooley.
They took Nova to the overtime.
Yep,
it's a great final.
They're scrappy. They're feisty.
Yep,
that's the way they play.
So you got Duke winning it all. Who do you have?
I'll be up front. I didn't really look too hard at the bracket. I got nothing on that.
Good.
At this point in time.
Good. That's what I'm talking about. Nice work.
What
about the Flyers? What we got with the Flyers?
The key to filling out your bracket. When it comes out, you spend 10 minutes on it, and then you don't look at it again.
Yeah, I haven't filled one out either, so I'm right there with him. I looked. I gave it a glance, and I knocked out like all my favorites. Got them done in the first round, but then I looked, and I was like, oh, man, I got a ton of other games that I didn't pick. I just skipped. So there's a lot of things I need to just do a quick little search on just to see what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I sometimes will go down the stats like, hey, a 14 has beaten a 3 this many times, whatever. Might pick one. What the 5-12? There's always a 5-12 upset. Always got to pick a 12 over a 5.
I got some upsets if you guys want to hear them.
Well, give me two. Give me two upsets.
I like New Mexico State over Clemson. I got New Mexico State actually going to the Sweet 16 because I think the matchups that they have, I think Auburn is a team that's kind of reeling late in the season. And I always have one crazy Elite 8 pick, and that this year is Loyola Chicago, an 11 seed. I love the way they play. A bunch of white boys out there. They can shoot the ball really well. Clayton Custer is an exceptional point guard. Watch his vision. This kid might be a star, like the guy that you might be talking about in the tournament that nobody's ever heard of. So Clayton Custer, and the reason why I like them is their versatility. They like to defend in the half court, and that leads them onto the fast break, but they can also break you down in the half court because of the way that they shoot the ball and the way that Custer can find teammates. So I like this team a lot. They went like 28, 9-5 during the regular season. They won the Missouri Valley Conference. Loyola Chicago. Remember the name?
Can you name me another team in the Missouri Valley Conference?
Indiana State. Brad. Oh, dude, I'm like I'm a college basketball junkie, man. Keep going. Evansville. I got Bradley. I've got Indiana State. So yeah, I got you, son.
What the hell is the name of that conference again?
Missouri Valley Conference.
I don't even remember the freaking name of it. I just want to make sure you're right. So I'm like, I believe it. You're 100% right.
Yeah.
Can you name all of them? That's the question. Hang on. Let me pull them up.
I'm not going to name all of them.
You can't?
I don't think I can name all of them.
All right, well, how many teams?
I don't even know if I can get any more.
I think there's 10.
Yeah, there's 10 of them. You got Southern Illinois.
All right, that's one.
Salukis. Oh, so we're starting over?
Go for it.
All right, Bradley.
Yep.
Loyola Chicago. Illinois State. We got Evansville. Southern Illinois. I don't know if I fucking mentioned that.
That's all right.
Now I'm losing it. Evansville. So I got 6, and there's 4 more, and this is where I'm starting to lose it. Northern Iowa.
Boom. Adrian Fedka. Come on, you got 3 more, dude.
I'm losing it now though, because the teams that used to be in the Missouri Valley aren't in there anymore.
I'm impressed.
Wichita State's not there anymore.
Nope.
Drake is another one.
Boom.
There's 2 more.
What the hell, man?
Dude, I am a bracketologist. That's what I do.
Move over, Joey Brackets.
Yeah, I could give you teams from the NEC if you want me to.
No, I want you to give me these final two here.
There's two more. They're probably teams that just like got into the conference that I can't name you. I gotta think. I'm thinking. I'm trying not to have dead air. So.
It's fine. One was the worst team. Terrible. 6-12.
Yeah.
Just terrible.
Dog
food.
Dog food. I got nothing.
Valpo.
Oh, Valparaiso. That's why I didn't get them because they came from the Horizon.
Okay.
So they're a new team this year.
And I'm not sure. Did you say Bradley?
I did say Bradley. So I got 9 out of 10.
You and I.
Oh, I forgot Missouri State.
There it is.
So I got 9 out of 10. And the one is a new team.
Why did you just get Missouri State right there and you didn't get it? I didn't say it.
I don't know.
Technically, I should give it to you. You got 9 out of 10.
I just thought of Missouri
That's
State.
incredible, dude.
Yeah.
That's absolutely crazy. That is just bananas.
And then we moved to the NEC, and it's like...
No. We don't want to lose everybody. They're impressed right now. They're impressed. What we might need to do is put you up against Joe DeCamera. Special edition of the Hammer.
Oh, yeah?
Might have to do that.
Joe DeCamera thinks he could take me in a bracketology, name all the teams in college.
I forget how they do it, but they do
hammer?
beat the hammer, and it's not just bracketology.
It's
Although they might do like a NCAA edition or whatever.
Yeah.
But DeCamera is a savant. He's a wacko, and I mean that
I'm
with
a wacko too.
Yeah, I know that. You have to be a wacko to have knowledge like that. I understand it. 100% right. But DeCamera could name you like Final Four MVPs who played in the championship game for the last 30 years.
Yeah, I can do that.
He could probably name like the Final Four teams.
I could probably do that. I don't know about MVPs, but I can give you Final Four
Good
history.
Lord, dude, you're out of your mind.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll have to save that for next time.
We'll do that next time on whatever.
We didn't
Hammer
even,
time.
Yeah, we didn't even have an opportunity to talk a little bit about Bryce Harper and possibly coming to the Phils. I saw Buster Olney on the Fanatics morning show this morning talking about Harper, or Machado. He'll bet the farm that one of them ended up in a Phillies uniform. Unbelievable that I'm even reading that. Like, whatever happened to this being the worst place in the world for you ever to play sports? And now, like the biggest, the Titans, the Giants, they're coming here.
Yeah.
LeBron, Bryce. It's crazy.
Wow. Maybe Trout too. You never know.
You never know.
You never know. He's an Eagles fan. He's a Philly guy. He's from Jersey.
Carson's got his ear, that's for sure.
That's true.
All right,
They're
good
besties.
stuff, boys. As always, Aunt Mazziotti, Adrian Fedq. Make sure you follow us on all social medias. I got it on the bottom of the screen. PI Live, of course. Sean_Brace. That's me. Hello. At Adrian Fedq. There's no other Adrian Fedqs out there, so he has that. And at Aunt Mazziotti. That's MAZZIOTTI.
And there's at least 2 other Aunt Mazziottis.
Is there?
Word.
At least 2.
And if you ever need to know anything about the Missouri Valley Conference, I'm your guy.
You sicko. I love it. Hey, we're going to talk some Phillies over here on Facebook Live. So if you catch us on the podcast or catch us on the replay, go ahead, scan down on Facebook or skim down a little bit, check out the timeline, and you'll see a quick 5-minute video on everything what's happening right now in Camp Kapler down in Florida. But for Adrian Fedq, Aunt Mazziotti, I'm Sean Brace. Everybody have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you next time. Peace.